Key addition to the Browns, John Johnson, free agent signing, came over from the number 1 ranked defense last year, the Los Angeles Rams. Now, Johnson talked about he's versatile. He can play all over the field, doesn't really have a favorite position. Also spoke about what he sees from this Browns defense.
Different game plan requires, to be in a different spot. So whatever it is for that week, I just want to study the film and put myself in the shoes of another guy playing in that spot and try to, do it better than he did. So I don't think it's one specific position, but I think, the matchups and wherever I fit best, I'm going to try to do it to the best of my ability.
John, we're here for some spring practices. I know it's the very beginning of training camp. But can you get a sense for how good this defense can be from being on the field with the guys?
I mean, the sky's the limit. Whatever we put in from now till week 1 is what it's going to be. So it starts, yesterday, and we're going to keep stacking the blocks on top of each other. But I think the sky's the limit. I've been on a pretty solid defense, and there's not too many differences. So I think the sky's the limit for us.
Again, John Johnson and Tim, news came out today that it will be Anthony Walker, the linebacker, who wears the green dot as the communications guy calling defensive signals. That's something that John Johnson did for that top-ranked defense for the Rams. But at the end of the day, the expectations that the defense have for themselves, probably the most important thing, and John Johnson's giving you a little glimpse of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the talent they've added on defense, not just John Johnson. They signed him, of course, his teammate from Los Angeles, Troy Hill. You draft Greg Newsome to be potential starting corner opposite Denzel Ward. You draft Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. We'll see him at some point next week when he comes off the reserve COVID-19 list. Anthony Walker, you just talked about how he's going to get the radio, is going to be calling the defensive signals. And, of course, Jadeveon Clowney. There's no question that the talent on this defense is night and day what it was a year ago. And the thing that stood out to me again is kind of what he said at the beginning, how the game plan is going to change. And I think that's where the Joe Woods defense is going to be very interesting to me. And the reason I say that is because we've seen how much the NFL has changed. It happened in college football a lot faster than it did the NFL, but the way it's changing where you're going to have to go up against a team that's going to run 4 receivers like the Bengals, or a team that's going to run down your throat or whatever, like the Ravens are going to, you have to be able to have personnel that can handle those different situations. So it's almost like a week-to-week game plan. And having guys with versatility like Johnson has, where he could play safety, he could play down the box, and a defensive coordinator in Woods who has said he wants to run all sorts of defenses up to 3 safeties in his starting lineup. You want that versatility because you're going to go up against something different every single week in this league. So to have a defense that it can adapt to all those different things, that is not necessarily beholden to one particular thing, and then has the personnel to play those areas, not just the personnel and numbers, but in quality as well, to do those things gives, I think, the best chance for success. So we'll see how it all comes together. Again, I'm not expecting them, in week 1, week 2 to become the 85 Bears by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a defense that should certainly get better as it goes along when Joe Woods really figures out what he's got on that side of the football.